Esther. Because you were being rude.
Shout out to the chat. I'll see y'all. My apologies about being a few minutes late. I promise I was here. I've been up since 6 a.m. I couldn't get my damn soundboard to work, man. I couldn't get
turbulence, people.
I couldn't get my soundboard to work. I actually had to go and unplug it. There's no way I can do this shit.
Esther.
Oh, did I do it? Oh, there. Hold on a second.
Esther.
Oh my God, we started off terrible. Shout out to the chat, man. Let's get it, man. Let me see those locations down there. Let's go. What it do?
The streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get the money. Bitch, give me what you got.
Let me see those locations in the chat.
Call me bitches.
City boy.
You could hear the cholesterol in her voice.
What it do, baby?
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
The streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get the money. Bitch, give me what you got.
Call me bitches.
City boy.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, let's go.
This bitch.
Today, Tuesday? We in here on a Tuesday. Let's get it.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
I love my soundboard, man. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're going to get started here. My apologies about being a few minutes late. Like I said, I was sitting here ready to roll since like 7. I was actually editing a video. And I was ready to roll and then went to start the video and my soundboard wouldn't work. So I actually had to go under my desk and unplug that son bitch. That never happened like that before, but here we are, man. We're going to get to it. Let's see who we got in the building. Let's see who we have in the building. I see y'all down there. Let's see who we got. Shout out to Mona D. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mona D's channel. Oh, let me know if you guys can hear me as well. I'm assuming you guys can. You haven't said you can't. So shout out to Mona D. She in the chat. Smoking Talk. Shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to Janesta Coleman. Hit your boy with the super chat. Oh, man. Janesta is... I love me some Janesta. Always been rocking with my show for a long time. Janesta says, good morning, DoBetterSquad. Good morning, y'all. Get those likes up. Shout out to Smoking Talk. Mona, if you could please drop Smoking Talk's link as well. Shout out to Jay Will. Jay Will representing out in California. Shout out to all the Cali boys. Tommy Stiggs, what's going on? Jersey. Mike's in New York. Good to see all y'all. Honey Bay. What's going on, Honey Bay? Good to see you. Good to see you. Serrated Grin. That's Saginaw's finest right there. Hello, everyone. Let's get ready to some modern women. Delusion. Facts. Shout out to SP. Shout out to SP, my homie.
The streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get the money. Bitch, give me what you got.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, Tommy. I see you says thanks for stopping by this morning. No doubt. Hey, Derek, I got something for you, Derek. I had this for you the other day. I didn't see you around. You asked me to download that the other day. I was like, why did you ask me to do that? I don't even remember why, but I did it, and I'm a man of my word. So shout out to the chat, and we're going to get started. So the other day, a little bit of house cleaning. Make sure you guys, housekeeping, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, tell your people to tell you, they people about Theo and the morning show, and we're going to get right to it. So last week, we did a clip with Just Pearly, and Just Pearly had this long, I told you guys about it. She had a long stream with this woman who I thought it was good to react to. We reacted to some of it. We didn't finish it, but also said that due to, I couldn't download the video the night before because I usually download my videos, edit them, get them nice and good for our reactions. I try to cut out the fat, cut out the stuff we don't need, but we never finished part 2, but Pearlie just dropped her edited version of that same interview. So, and it's short, it's only about a half an hour, so I thought we'd react to that one as well. So let's get to it. Let's get to it here. This first clip, make sure you guys hit the like button. And then if you guys want to support the show, I have the Cash App on the screen, dollar sign, DoBetterPod. I have my phone out here to acknowledge you guys. Let's get to it. Yep, here we go, right here.
What era has society
Hit that like
flourished
button.
putting me before the family?
It's not about putting me.
What
You have
era?
to put your
child
mindset.
comes
Your
first.
mindset.
Your child comes
Of course, your
first.
child comes.
You sound your
100%.
seat.
I'm not saying my child comes before everything.
But you can't help.
It doesn't
Everything.
come
But
before everything if you want a business before your child.
No, but I didn't say I
You're
want
in
a business
control
for
of
my
your
child.
happiness.
Yeah, you're in control of your happiness. However, can I finish? My child, without a shadow of a doubt, comes before everything. Every single thing that I do. I've even stopped working to make sure that my child was okay. I've reduced my hours to make sure that my child is okay. However, doing that, I realized if you're not right mentally, you can't.
I think you're in denial because I'm going to be real here.
You
as
can't
a
say
mother.
I'm in denial.
I'm going to be real
saying
as a
that.
mother.
I agree with that. That's her
I'm gonna-
outlet. Basically, that's her outlet to make sure she's stably and mentally correct for her child.
But it's
You
all for
can't knock her
financial
that.
gain.
No,
She's
but
in
you can't knock
denial.
her for that.
Can I
Because-
speak?
No,
Can I
she
speak?
would do
You
it
can't
for
say I'm in
financial
denial because I
gain.
would do it for free.
She would do it for free. It's a passion project.
That's just her way, basically, her way of her outlet in it, of her releasing herself from her child. She'd prefer to go and do business, whereas some people might do a marathon, or you're still focusing your energy a bit away.
But her point is that it's not. If it's not about profit,
Facts,
it's not a
SP.
business. Then it's
It's
a
not.
hobby.
And you know, maybe it is a hobby, and maybe eventually, actually, my main goal eventually is to turn it into a charity. It's based, it's my daughter's name.
I
It's-
respect
but
you.
that-
It's
but that
passionate. I
it's
understand
passionate,
that.
It's very passionate, and I don't live off it. That was not my aim.
But the point is, you're saying you would rather spend 30% of the week on you than on the family, and it's a modern answer. And so when you're saying it's not a modern answer, that's just not true. It is a modern answer.
You're saying that like she's not with her in the morning, she's not with her at night, she's not with her to drop her
That's
to school.
maintaining a child, raising a child and maintaining a child.
Okay, and then what?
Facts.
But the thing is, you can't say that because I raised my child.
No, but
So it's not
no one's saying you're wrong in
maintaining.
saying that, you know.
And just pause for the calls real quick. I'm going to get right back to it. But this woman here, the one I freeze it on, I've said this before, that a lot of women struggle when you have a conversation, and this is a red flag in my opinion, when a woman struggles to keep up in a conversation when you're talking about her personally or talking about a subject in general. And this woman struggles with that. When they're talking about women in general, she thinks she makes it personal, and there's really no need for it. But I just always thought that was an obvious red flag when someone who can't keep up with something simple like that. It doesn't take much critical thinking in the least.
Don't
You're not
believe
wrong in
that. If
saying
you're
that.
sending your kid to school, and loads of people would disagree here, you're not really raising your child, because for 8 hours a day, and then you get these.
I see you, Lord
independent
Zero.
women
So because
get
your
up in the
child goes
morning
to
and
school, you don't raise your
do
child?
breakfast club and after club. That's like 10 hours a day. They
My
come
daughter
home.
doesn't do breakfast or
I'm
after
just
after
saying, people do this. Like they'll
I
send the
don't.
kids for 10 hours a day. Yeah.
So do you think
Can
you're
I
not?
speak?
I mean,
Can I
do you
speak?
think that?
She's
For-
right.
For 10 hours a day, yeah. Your kids at school, come home aftercare, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Have a wash, watch TV, go to bed. You're not even seeing your child.
No, but I see my
So-
child.
Facts. That's a great point. And shout out to the homie Media Man. Let me get some for Media Man right here. Shout out to Media Man. If you guys like a channel that has, reactions as well as statistics and content, because Theo don't throw out stats. Theo just throw out terrible allegations. But definitely check out Media Man. Appreciate the super chat. Media Man says, let's get this morning started off right. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
It's good.
Mona or somebody could drop the link to Media Man's channel. Definitely go check out Media Man. He goes live, I believe Tuesday, because I believe he was live last night. I was up for a minute and I had to go to bed because I got to be up for this. So appreciate you, man.
Because she has activities every single
You're
day.
telling
so I
me
have
she
to
goes
take
to
her.
school, so you're not raising your child. Your child's being
I don't
programmed to
agree.
the social norm.
I don't agree with that. You have to raise your child.
Facts,
because
You're not Decent.
raising your child?
I am raising my child.
you're
I
not
definitely
raising
am
your
raising
child.
my
No,
child.
she's right. And I mean,
I feel like that makes socially awkward people to do that.
I'm not. My child's not so socially awkward. My child is
believe
so
that.
confident. She teaches a class of 30 children and 30 people.
Where does she teach her?
My classes, I run classes, and she teaches people. She's more confident than the
So
average
you believe
girl.
when you
What's
send
good,
your child
Elaine?
to school that you're not raising them at all?
You're giving another
So
adult
what- how
time.
does
You're
she-
giving another adult time more time to spend with your child than you will.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
So you
and I'll say I went to school, but
Yeah.
there were times when I certainly
I see you,
spent
Jay
more
Gray.
time with coaches or teachers than my parents because again, I'm spending 8 hours a day in school. So when
Yeah.
you have one homeroom teacher and they teach most of your classes in 3rd grade, you're spending 8 hours a day communicating with that homeroom teacher. A parent just can't keep up. And we now have outcomes where kids are getting brainwashed in schools, and now
they don't even know.
There's always
who they are.
But parenting isn't just smothering your child 24/7. They are meant to be practicing independence. They're meant to be meeting people. They're meant to be interacting. They're meant to be in social situations.
the mother would
They
teach
have to grow up.
So just because you homeschool your child doesn't mean they miss out on any of those aspects. You, as a mother, have a duty to ensure those are in place. It's not just in school that they get them.
But I'm just going off the point that Pearl made. Like, that... just because, I'm not spending 24/7 with them every second and I'm sending them to school.
Exactly.
That's,
Sometimes it's best for the child as well. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, who knows, like the child might be fed up of you. The child wants to be
I'm not saying
as well,
homeschooling is based upon you living with your child 24/7.
Yeah, but you are saying that if someone sends their child to school,
you said that her working twice a day,
they're not raising their children.
I think
you're not raising your child.
She is raising her child.
No.
But why are you the judge? What makes
this is
you
my
a
opinion.
judge?
That's my opinion. Like, she's got hers, you've got yours. I'm just saying, for 8 hours a day, your child is under the care of somebody else. And for most people, they're going to breakfast club and aftercare. So that's 10 hours a day.
Okay,
it's only 24, and they've got to sleep. You get 4 hours in the weekday with your child. That is absurd. That's insane. And they've got to have a wash.
She doesn't go breakfast.
I understand, but your child also needs to learn other fundamental skills.
They don't need to do it. It doesn't take 10 hours a day. It doesn't take 10 hours a day.
Can I ask you a question? So
I don't know about 10 hours.
Guys, wait. Okay. You can go. Go ahead.
You see, you're homeschooling your child. Would you say now you're fully raising your child because you're homeschooling your child? Is that what you see? Like, is that your point? Because I'm sending my child to school and I'm not raising her. That's what you said. So what is it from homeschooling perspective? How would you view it?
I believe I've got more of an input of what I can put into my child and more of a say. Whereas for 10 hours, 8 hours a day at school, I don't have a say.
Can I ask you another question? Is that one of the main reasons you chose to homeschool your child?
I chose to homeschool because I went to school and then I was always like 2-3 years ahead. So in year 1, I was in year 3. In year 3, I was in year 5. And like, I'd finish my work in 20 minutes. So why do I need 8 hours a day if I can complete my work in 20 minutes? I'm not saying my child's me, because she isn't, but I'm intelligent enough to educate my own child.
Yeah, I have a question. So who has more influence over your kid? Someone spending 8 to 10 hours a day with your kid, or someone spending 4?
The teacher, be honest.
And why do you think we have these kids that are coming home literally thinking they're women? Like little boys literally coming home thinking they're women.
That's bonkers.
And women, young women literally coming home and thinking they're men.
Yeah, and then when they get older, they're even saying, I want to go back to this. Yeah. Like Angelina Jones' child.
We went to private school, like Catholic school, and even us, they showed my sister CNN Kids. Why are they showing a liberal news network to my 5th grade child? And that's our point. You can avoid a lot of those problems by homeschooling. I mean,
homeschool is on the rise. Like, there's a reason for that.
But you're going to be in the world regardless.
Anyway. Yeah, it's on the internet.
You're going to be in the world regardless.
Yeah, but you need to make them aware of certain things that you believe in your family culture or tradition or whatever. Otherwise, they're going to be led astray.
I'm trying to stop interrupting the video as much. Janessa says, in my opinion, these ladies fuss too much. That just made me laugh back to
That is down to you as a parent to make sure that you raise your child with those values.
How can you do that when they're at school?
Hit the like button.
That doesn't happen. You only got 4 hours with them. How can you do that?
My parents did it with me, and I think I turned out all right.
I'm not going to... Yeah, I feel like the 4 hours, that's only... Okay, there's term time.
You've turned out to be a modern woman, so that if you're happy with that, which is... I respect it.
I'm modern,
and you're also
traditional
but
values.
So are modern women. They think they're still traditional.
And let me pause for a second as well. I'm going to let it right after this. Bella Ring says they keep cutting her off. First of all, shout out to Bella. Shout out to all the ladies in the chat. Shout out to my Detroit family. Bella, you say you were from the D. Where you at right now? But the reason is, I bring up this comment. She says they keep cutting her off. And she's talking about this lady right here on the left. And bear in mind, this lady to the right is going to be real quiet during this segment. But she agrees with this woman on the left. The issue is the sisterhood. This woman on the right agrees with the woman on the left on this particular topic. But she's going to be extremely quiet throughout the interaction and barely chime in. And it's the sisterhood. You're going to see this woman on the left literally going against 3 women on the couch to the right. So it's amazing to see.
But if you're not all of it, you're not any of it. You either are or you ain't.
She's right.
But why?
She's right.
What do you mean? You can't be in between. You can't have the best of both worlds. That's
why?
What? How can? Because it doesn't function right. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Because you're in the house now with your man trying to make like you're equal with arguments and debates.
I don't think we're
equal. You said that earlier.
We
if
have
I can't have
different
a
roles.
say, if I can't have a say at certain things, you're not going to be happy. But this is the problem. You either are
Project
or you
Leroy was
so
good.
go and chase your career, or be a stay-at-home mum.
So
or
when
whatever.
I can have my career,
I see you,
my
Mike.
husband can be supportive of that, and I can still be a good mum, and I can still be a good
But
wife.
this is what they mean. Like modern women live in delusion. That's delusion. You can't have
No,
everything.
society just gaslights us.
Everything comes at a cost.
And she said that everything comes at a cost. Mike says these chicks live in a delusional state. Facts, Mike. Good to have you. Everything comes at a cost. And this lady, when she just said that to this lady, she says, no. When she said women can't have it all, she says, no, everyone just gaslights us. Everyone lies to us and says we can't have it all. No, they're lied to you. They gaslit you initially by telling you could have it all. And I've always said this, we get right back to the video. This shows like one of the main differences between men and women. Women think they can have it all. Of course, this doesn't apply to all women. Modern women think they can have it all. Us as men, we know we can't. I mean, I'll say that again. It just shows we live in two different worlds. As a man, I know I can't have it all. It's not even worth me wasting brain cells thinking and dreaming about it. As a man, I know I can't have it all because that's how the world works. Men know we can't. Women think they can. Let's get back to it.
It doesn't. My husband knows what I'm going to be like, and he accepts it. You know? And he's happy with it.
So when does your child spend time like away from you?
All the time. Look where I'm out now. She's like all the time.
Okay, so when you said, oh, she's working, like her choosing to work on her business, and those are times she's not with her child, 2 days a week, when she still sees her in the morning, she still sees her at night, she still sees her. How is that like? What's the problem with that?
I don't like it. I said I take accountability for the fact that I'm on my own with my child.
Your child's away from you all the time. So
I don't mean 24/7, but
where do you get time to raise your child if you're always
when I'm not working? But I'm accountable. I don't want to be here. I want to be at home with my child, but because I don't have a partner at home, I'm here because I'm doing whatever I'm doing with my work or whatever, and I'm here. But if I had a choice, which is what I said, I would love the idea of spending 7 days a week. Every day of the week with my daughter because I don't ever get bored of my child and she never drives me insane.
But what about if she gets bored of you? What about her?
And you wouldn't have any hobbies, any projects, anything.
Wait. Okay, stop. But that's what I'm saying. She has a real real traditional mindset because she's actually talking about putting the kid before the family and not her. You didn't hear her talking about her.
But do you think that's putting the kid before though? Spending 24/7. I would hate that. I would hate.
No, but there's no idea to say that I should be with my daughter 24/7.
And then also the side note as well. This chick on the far right is like kind of the single mom, but the one to her left with the glasses right above my camera, she's her cousin. So just to let you know, not only do you have the sisterhood, you have family in play. Shout out to PA Texas, bro. PA Texas is a hilarious dude, man. PA, you need your own channel, bro. I see him at around Dave's spot, J versus J, but PA Texas is hilarious, bro. Shout out to all the Texas boys. He said this woman just stated she can do something that has never been done before. If she was that good, she would be rich and famous.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Facts, man. Let's get back to it. It's party lime. I see you, bro. Shout out to BLJ. I see you as well.
You're being ignorant to what I'm saying because I'm saying my daughter goes to classes. My daughter goes to classes. My daughter interacts with other people.
No, but you said your choice would be to be with her.
Okay, let me just what's better? A stranger spends 10 hours a day with your kid, or the mother spends 10 hours a day with your kid?
I don't statistically
But you're not spending 10 hours a day
with
with an adult. You're spending 10 hours a day with people your age, people that you can relate to.
I'm just gonna repeat the question. What is better, a mother spending 10 hours with her child or a stranger spending 10 hours a day with the same child?
But it's not going to be a stranger because you're in school. I think
it is a stranger. It's a stranger.
I think school is good. I don't think
it's not black and white.
I don't think school's good at all. I think the system's failed like a long time ago.
Her whole point is that you're allowing a stranger to have more influence over your kid than you do, and we see it. You see it constantly where these kids come out super left when they come from conservative homes.
But it depends on how much input you actually put into your child.
But what are you going to get with 4 hours a day after work?
I think it all comes down to how you raise your children. I really do. And they have their own mind. And, you know, they're going to get exposed to the real world eventually. And it is down to them to make their own decisions.
I see you, Sam.
That's how my parents raised me. And I think I turned out all right.
You turned out modern. And if you're happy with that, I respect that. And I think if you want that in your life...
What do you mean by modern? modern. You keep saying modern as in like.
As Pearl said, you're classed as the modern woman, but I understand you're still saying you got traditional values and whatnot. But I just that's what.
But I'm happy to be a stay-at-home mum. Like,
how can you be a stay-at-home mum if you want a career? You can't have everything. Like, it don't make no sense. How can you have both?
I'm happy to win.
Facts, man.
Bang! It's good.
Facts. You can't have everything. Shout out to Brandon L. Jet. BLJ says checking in earliest from Cali. And I meant to say this, and this is why I stopped. We're going to get right back to it. Shout out to all the Cali folk. Jay William, you guys are, even the people that's on the East Coast right now, if you guys headed to work, yeah, that's cool. We all in the same boat. But shout out to all my left coasters, Raging Half Asian, Jay Will, Jay Vaughn, Joker, all the cats out there in Cali, man. I meant to ask this the other day, like, what are you guys doing up? It's like 5 a.m. your time. Back to it. Appreciate the love, bro.
The lottery.
You can't have both.
My career is like always going to be there. That's the thing. Even when I'm a mum, I might take a small break off TV and stuff, but I will be back. That's a long career.
That's her whole point, though. Is you're a modern woman. It doesn't mean you're a bad woman. It just means you're a modern, and she doesn't like the modern mindset.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a question about what you said about children being able to make up their own minds. I kind of disagree with that, and the question that I want to ask is, if children...
Hold on for a second, just to get Derek has a comment right here. Derek Gaines says, catch me up, please. Are they ignoring over who spends more time with their child? So basically what they're talking about, Derek, is this woman all the way to the right. She's a single mom, and then the woman who's over on the other couch, the one who's pretty much going to be fighting 3 of these 4 women, debating. They were just having the discussion. Basically, it's tradition versus modern. And I believe the only 2 who have a child is this woman over here to the far right and the woman who's on the other couch. I don't believe the other women actually have children. But basically, what they're discussing is modern versus tradition, and how this woman on the right, who's a teenage mom, by the way, she had her child when she was a teenager, is just able to try to do it all. And the woman on the other couch is just telling her, like, you can't. We're both in the same boat, but I would never do the same things that you do. So basically you have 2 women in the same boat, but with very different values. That's kind of where we're at.
Can make up their own minds. Like Pearl said, there's kids that are coming from conservative families and coming out of schools leftists. If a kid can have their own mind, what do you think about a 13-year-old boy, your son, for example, coming home and saying, Mum, I want to be a girl?
I'm absolutely fine with it.
So you would let your 13-year-old son go through a sexual transition?
Jermaine, I see you.
Because if they have their own minds, they can make their own consent and they don't need yours.
If this is how they are feeling, I don't know the depths of this, but like if he is feeling like that or she is feeling like that, then it's something that we're obviously going to sit down and talk about and look into.
But if they have their own minds, they don't need to sit down and talk.
Just like still a modern woman, because you're abiding by modern principles that are out today.
Well, I am modern then, if that's the case. If my son came home from school one day and said to me, "Look, Mum, I'll be honest with you, I think I'm gay," I would take it on and I'd be open.
What if your son came home and said, "I think I'm black"?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd have to sit him down and be like.
So you don't think if he thought he was the opposite gender, you might need to sit him down and
tell him that he's
well, that's
not?
what I said. I mean, exactly. I would listen to him, sit him down, and have a conversation with him. But this all comes down to the way that you raise your children.
I'm saying, but you said they have their own mind. So why doesn't he make up his own decision? Why would you have to sit him down?
What do you mean? Sorry,
because you said they have their own mind.
Yeah, as in they're making their own decision, but I can still have an input and I can still talk with them about it.
So if he wanted to change his gender, you'd let him?
No, of course not. I would have a conversation with him. I would find out, like, what is this about? Talk to me.
Yeah,
like,
but what if the teachers already had 10 conversations with him about this before you?
And they're telling him that it's okay.
Yeah, how much influence are you really going to have?
So let me pause the video. We're going to get right back to it. I just wanted to give my take on the that whole conversation. So I've said this before, and I don't know if I have necessarily like popular takes. It seems like people in like the manosphere, the red pill space, wherever it is you fit in, I don't really categorize myself with any of that shit, but that's just kind of, everyone has to fit somewhere. So I kind of just slide into that, but I don't live or die of that. Really don't give a shit. My opinion, BLJ says these weights aren't going to lift itself. Oh, I hear you, bro. See, now I know where you guys is up at 5 a.m. Get it in the gym early. I hear you. My thoughts overall may not be popular with the manosphere, but here's the thing. I don't give a shit whatsoever. I've always been this way. I'm not trying to be PC for YouTube or anything like that. I legitimately never given a shit about what the next person does in their bedroom, meaning that I never tripped about a dude being gay or not. Like, if the dude's going to be gay, if your kid's going to be gay, they're going to be gay. If I found my son would be gay, I wouldn't be probably thrilled about the shit, but it's not something that would devastate my world or anything like that. But here's the deal. And I'll even go as far as like the trans and people want to go from man to woman. I don't give a shit what adults do. If you're a man and you want to chop your dick off and go from Victor to Veronica, that's on you, buddy. I'd advise against it, but that's on you. But I have the hardest time backing people up when they talk about these kids and shit and these children who in certain states are able to go and get these surgeries without any type of parental guidance, who are able to make such decisions, makes decisions with such magnitude at such a young age when they're nowhere near to having their brain fully developed. So that's just my thoughts overall. If people are going to be gay, I don't care. If this is a channel that people think like we're going to bash gay people, I don't give a shit. And you're not going to find that here. But the whole getting your dick chopped off and sex change at such an early age, nah, it's just something I'm not with. Let's get back to it.
And I've seen this. I have a younger sister.
It depends how young my child is. That's, yeah.
And 13 is quite young. They give consent forms for this stuff. Like, if they're going to have lessons about that, they give consent forms.
You can actually say you don't want your son in the room.
It's true,
you know.
it's true. That's just a
It's a sure mic party line.
You know, because if my daughter goes to class and all her friends are doing a certain lesson, when they go in the playground, kids are just...
They're going to tell each other.
All going to tell each other.
They'll do that regardless of the lesson.
No, but like, for example, my parents, you know, they were religious, and I remember when I was younger, they got sent a letter about, oh, can we show kids sex videos or whatever. My parents actually said no, we refuse, and we want her taken out.
There's no way you're
going
to avoid it in the school system.
It's all about how you actually raise your children.
Well, and you don't.
I agree with
that. But you also don't know what the teacher's intentions are. I mean, I have a friend that was like sexually assaulted by a teacher, and that's the risk. At your kid. Like,
I sent my daughter to school and like she did 2 years and it didn't work. And then when the COVID thing came in, and you couldn't like
that's funny,
drop the
BLJ.
kid when you drop them at the gate and whatnot. I just wasn't with that. I don't like the idea of somebody being more empowered than me with my child, because that then means they have more power over me and I'm supposed to be the mother. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but then where does it sort of stop? Where do you sort of draw the line? Because I mean, I don't know a pilot's intentions.
And I'm sorry to stop it again, y'all. I promise I'm going to get better at this. But SP says, yeah, because you are young and don't know what it's like being black. Enjoy being white for a while first, then make the decision. But here's the thing. That's funny, SP. But here's the thing I thought about when he said that. But you notice how, and I didn't want to get too deep into it, but we can real quick. But did you notice how, oh yeah, I would let him make that decision if you want to change, you know, to be a girl. What about black? Hold the fuck up now. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. There's a Liam Neeson bit where he says, going too far, too far. That's what I'm thinking. Like, and that just goes to show, and this is just, I'm not trying to get too deep into it, but it just guys show you on a subliminal level, that's how much white people think about blackness. That's how far. Oh yeah, you can change. You can get your dick chopped off and be a girl next Tuesday, but you can't be black. Like, that's just a small observation. Back to it.
I don't know his background.
I'm very, very.
He could be a psycho, but I still get on a plane.
Can I ask one question? Yeah? Where a lot of these kids are going astray, like we leave them to social media, a tablet or whatever. I limit my child to that.
You need to protect your children.
She got to do. Hold on, I meant to say she got a child, but then I said she got a dude. Back to it, man.
You should protect the children. You can't just be dropping your children off the classes and children get abused and all sorts.
You want to protect your child from the school environment.
Facts.
I'm not with anything that the school system promotes.
I absolutely would. I mean,
Wise Up Show was good, bro.
And do we even need the school system in society now? No, we don't.
I feel like school teachers
out of date.
There was college professors that have openly said things that discriminated against men when I was in college. Openly, and like there's no pushback.
But not everyone has the ability to homeschool their children. And
I disagree.
Because you're saying you're intelligent, you can do that, but not everyone.
You don't really need to be that intelligent. Like, I could probably educate my daughter to a certain level, but there's so much available to homeschool.
Really? My brother's 15 years old. He showed me his like GCSE maths test, and I was like, what the hell, and I have a degree.
Yeah,
you can have a degree and still be stupid, motherfucker. That doesn't mean anything. What's up, chat? What's up, Randall? That's all. The only reason I stopped.
Ways to do it though. You'd have to get a tutor, and they could come to the house or whatever way. You've got more control and say and input on raising your child.
But traditional women would rather work hard at their children than for themselves. That's
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So what if your child like one day said, "Oh, I don't want to be homeschooled"? Would you like take in?
I never let my daughter stay out of the house. I just don't like her staying out. I let her stay at her cousin's because I had a family emergency. She stayed there 3 days, and she wanted to go to school. So this is the effect of all children, I believe. And I said, yeah, okay. You really want to go to school? Within a couple of days, she goes, you know what, Mum, I don't want to go to school. She sees school as a prison. She goes, it looks like a prison. So that's my daughter's natural instinct of looking at school.
Okay, cool. Well, that's interesting.
To be honest, most kids don't like school.
They don't.
Little brother hates school.
Because all they're doing is being prepared
And
to go to
also,
work for 8 hours a day.
What you were saying about like the amount of energy, obviously like a stranger, teacher, whatever we want to call it, is putting into the child. When I was in school, there was always like 1 or 2 moments, maybe like once every academic year, someone would call the teacher mum. I don't think that's an accident. I think that's just because there's someone in front of them, you know, for however many hours a day. Like it might be a silly point, but I don't know.
No, I think she made a great point about that. I think that's a great point that she made, a great observation about sometimes kids calling teachers mom because you're with your teacher so much time. And that's the whole point of the argument. Now, I've seen some people in the chat, I've seen Janessa say she had to put her child in daycare. Now, everyone isn't going to be able to homeschool their children. My sister homeschools her 3 children because she's married. She has a husband. She has the ability to do so. And I brought up that because it correlates to the comment that D. Samuel just says right here. The school system is a program. Now, there is some truth to that. I'll give you the example with my sister. One of the reasons my sister took her oldest child out of school and then therefore started homeschooling him as well as her younger 2 children is because my nephew, me and my sister have different thoughts on like gay people overall. Like it never bothered me ever since I was a child. I've always said this, and I might ruffle some feathers right now, but I don't give a fuck. Any straight dude that's quote unquote all up in arms about gay dudes and what they're doing in their bedroom, he just mad that he can't let his fruit flag fly like them. That's how I've always said that. Like any straight dude that's just up in arms, like, oh, what those gay dudes are doing, bro, you just closeted yourself. But that's not the point. The point is, I had to agree with my sister because my sister took my nephew out of school because they were having like some like Pride Day or something, and they gave him all these shirts. Like they made it mandatory, like you had to wear these specific shirts to support that. Even though I don't have a problem with people having a gay lifestyle, other people's do. I think it's a bit silly, but it is what it is on that. But I was with her on that because they were going to force my nephew, like, you have to come to this thing and you have to wear this specific shirt. And my sister didn't bitch. She didn't complain about it. She didn't make a scene at the school. She just said, no, I'm going to start teaching my baby. So I feel like it definitely is some programming. I seen a story recently on Twitter where a teacher in Canada is like, he's trying to get fired in the school system. So he's walking around with like these big Z cup style prosthetics. He dresses as a woman during school, but then lives his life as a dude in his normal time. But he's doing that just in the attempt to get fired because I guess there's no laws like that with Canada. Back to the
you got a point. I think I've even done that.
Because they're in front of you and they're technically your caregiver. If you have a question, you ask them, can I go to the toilet? Yeah. You talk to them in a way that you would a parent. And then like you get these kids, put their hand up, mum, and then everyone laughs. But it's like, I don't think that's an accident. I think that's, I feel like the schooling system, I agree, they want you to see these things.
But then at the same time, I still feel like some people going to school, if they're from a certain different background, is actually an escape for them. So I feel like, although we can look at school in a negative way, 100%. There could be people coming from abusive backgrounds. When they go to school, they meet that teacher who's actually
that's just how society has programmed it for people. Like, that's just how it goes.
Pardon me. Yeah, but
why do we go to the extremes?
Yeah, but that just came into my head.
We're not talking about the exception. We're talking about the rule. Most people aren't being abused at home.
Facts.
The majority of people.
Do you think that's majority?
The majority.
Yeah, the majority of people aren't being abused by their parents.
No, but I'm just saying there could be people that coming from a household where it's not. They actually want to go to school. They want to go into that environment, meet people, be around people. There's some people that school, for me, I hated school. Absolutely hated it.
Facts, dude.
Didn't work for me. But someone else might love it. And I feel like they should be able to have the option.
Then they're destined for an average, not normal working day. That's what they want.
Really, because
some people's got to make the world go around, so maybe they're the people for the job. If you're happy with that for your child, then
to sending my child to school,
to prepare for working life, that's what school is. Then,
but then at the same time, I feel like that's where your family life and your parents come in, because I went to school and I was prepared for a working life, but then my family background, they taught me and they instilled something in me that was like, okay.
I think it prepares you for the real world as well, isn't it? Like you can work with.
It's just routine.
You can obviously you're around different cultures, like.
I believe, like if,
you know what I mean?
But you could travel with your family if you're homeschooled.
But if you ain't got the money, let's be honest, if you ain't got the money, the most you're going to travel to is like probably the park around the corner.
Exactly. No.
Do you know what I mean? Or the little swimming bars. Like, I'm telling you, like, from the hood, because I'm from the hood.
From
so,
seriousness, true.
Like, where I can see, sorry, I don't know your name, where she's coming from, where she's talking about working or whatever. I don't know her background, but I know she's talking like that because obviously she wants to leave a foundation for her youth. Forget the man or whatever. Yeah, but I will do that.
And here's the thing as well about this, but this woman right here, it just made me think about something, that the sisterhood is ingrained into their gender. No matter it doesn't matter if they try to flop the gender, because she's dressed like a dude and she has no accountability and the excuse makers, just like all the other women on the panel. I just thought that was a funny observation.
Like, what value?
It's all based on finances.
What value does knowing the real world help to a kid, a 5-year-old?
It helps
like you're supposed to protect your kid from the world.
Definitely. But then you got to prepare them for the real world as well. No one knows when your time expectancy is.
The best way to prepare your child,
do you know what I mean?
is like morals and principles, not based on money, because people have money and have no morals and principles. So
Facts.
How can that operate? It's just a disaster waiting to happen or happening. It's all.
I
feel like modern society is all based on money and finances. Like, we're being pressurized to work so hard to come away from our children, so our children become the next disaster in society.
Oh, dog.
And we're telling them it's all about money.
That rebuttal because she
I'm
said
from
you
the
could go on
struggle
holiday.
though. Like, struggle is good for children. So like, what's wrong? I struggled, and like, I want my child.
It depends. You can go one or the other way. That's why there's crackheads, and that's why there's.
Yeah, but why is there crackheads though? Why are there crackheads? Like, why?
Because life hits you. It depends on how you take life.
Mentality that's built at home, though.
No.
And that point leads right here to Serrated Grin's point. They're talking about, and she asked her, well, why did they end up like crackheads? Here's Serrated Grin right here. Let's never forget that nearly 80% of all people in the prisons are from single mother households, man. Facts.
Listen, you can have a strong mum, but the way you take on life and how you take on your trials and tribulations, you could either build from it or it might knock you down. Do you know what I mean? Or you might look at the wrong person as an influence.
We're talking about children here.
No, this is from
12 and under. Why do they need to go through a bunch of trials and tribulations?
No, they're not. It's
12, 13, the majority of their childhood, 12, 13 and under. Like, why do they need to go through a bunch of trials?
She ain't saying. She's not saying much of anything, Project Leroy. She's just talking.
It's learning to adapt. Like, it's different when. That's what, like,
I think if we look at everybody in this room, everyone's encountered some kind of struggle in their life. Like, it's all different based on.
Our answer's all different because of how you take on things, how I take on things, how she. You get what I'm saying? So it all.
But I just find that every time I speak and get onto this mic, everyone's perception is all based on money and finance. It's the number one thing. Money, 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 money. That's all you hear. Like, everything's accustomed to that. And I understand you need it to survive. But years ago, people survived on less and built better families and better children.
But that's because we could go into the garden and, you know what I mean?
Different now.
It's not different. It's the same.
People are struggling to heat their homes.
People have always been struggling, though. Like, people have always struggled.
No, but
she's right. Being born today, you're richer than most people were in all of human history.
Yeah.
You are.
People want more.
2023.
People want more because they can see more and they're more greedy to things. They want everything.
I'm interviewing a housewife. She raised 10 kids on less than $10,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't eat out. They don't travel. They just.
It's not about money though.
She sews their clothes. She goes in the garden. I mean, and it's hard. Oh my God, it's hard work. I was just listening. I'm gonna do an episode of Wife School where I actually go out and like look at.
But did any of their children go through bullying or anything like that?
No, her children turned out great. They're like they have so many traditional skills that are so helpful in the modern world, like sewing.
What's their outlook on life?
And here's the deal right now. pussy badass, like Bella Ray just said. She asked, well, were any of the 10 children bullied? It's 10 fucking kids. 10 children shouldn't be bullied by any goddamn body, because you bully one, then the rest of the whole football squad gonna come tackle your ass. But the bigger point here is that Pearly just explained, the woman on the couch and Pearly are explaining that you don't really need a lot of money to raise children, and they're giving off examples and reasonings why. Every single woman on the panel is going to look for a reason to deflect. That's why old Bootsy Badass over here a second ago asked, well, were the kids bullied? And they're just going to go after, let's just looking for excuse after excuse to deflect away from the prime example that Pearly just gave up. Because at the end of the day, they wanted to make it seem like you have to work, you have to have a lot of money to raise children, and that's really not the case. Is the difference between want and need. Your child doesn't need the new iPhone. Your child doesn't need a PlayStation 5. Your child needs food, needs a roof over their head. All these things that we classify as things children have to have, there aren't actual necessities. They're just wants. That's my point.
Like, what experiences have they gone?
Well, I'll show you
my
guys
child to experience.
I'll show you guys in the episode of Wife School.
I'm
I
excited
haven't
for
gone
that
yet.
episode.
I haven't gone yet, but
yeah, that'd
be interesting. To see.
But it really showed me just like the benefits of a traditional lifestyle, and like I always thought that you needed a certain amount of money to raise kids, but then I'm hearing this.
That's why I said PA, you need your own channel, bro.
People saying no,
I'm being honest. If I went back to Jamaica, like where my family's from, I wouldn't be focused on no money like that, because I know that there's riches of just the land, just the environment alone. It's different. When you're here,
it's different.
Yeah. No, she's in Florida. So it's not.
But even it's sunny in Florida. That alone is a riches to me.
Makes a difference.
That's a riches to people in the UK. We get that about maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the year.
What does that have to do with your spending?
What does that have to do with this conversation?
Yeah, so it proves
like
her
the
point.
sun. Yeah.
It proves her point.
But for example, okay, like I get what they were trying to say at the back. That basically, what's her name again? Collision was trying to say that when you're in Jamaica, like you can grow your crops. Like you got more access to growing your own things on your own land. Whereas in London, if you live in like, I don't know, in the city kind of centre, you can't really grow your crops.
Right,
you're able to budget a bit better. Whereas I feel like in London, you can budget, but it might be a bit harder.
Right, but can't you move? I mean, here it's a lot.
That costs money.
They're trying to make every excuse in the book why that lifestyle will not work for them. No, man, just say it, man. Just say it. Stop the disingenuousness. Just say, I don't like the idea that it doesn't take a lot of money to raise children. Just say that shit. Medium miss, I'm stupid. I'm like, this dude sound like a girl until I look closer. Oh, facts, man. Facts.
How many people
He wants to leave their
gardens?
family. I don't think
I just think
Hit
it's
the
an
like button.
excuse to justify
If you really
money
wanted to
as
grow.
not an incentive. Like, money is the be all, like the everything. When I speak to people, women especially, the main thing they talk about is money,
Fact,
money.
Wash,
That's
I
the
caught that
main
too.
focus in the
It's
Western world.
cheaper to live outside of London.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
like, I'm from Birmingham. Like, if I really wanted to, I could live on £20 a week. If I really wanted to, like, it's possible. But people don't want it to be possible because they value
It's
money
cheaper in Birmingham,
over anything else.
Have
Or
you
maybe
have you seen the energy prices?
I have seen energy
Yeah.
prices. I've got a house. Like, I'm not afraid of the bills.
Yeah.
But
There's people on Universal Credit right now. How much are they getting? About £300 to £400.
But there are people on Universal Credit with
And
5
they are
children, and they're
struggling.
happier and better children. Yes,
no,
there
I
is.
don't know which people
yes,
you're seeing.
Yes,
Go
there
on
is.
social media.
Yes,
What's good,
there is.
Dave?
Yes,
Okay,
there
do you
is.
think
Yes,
people
there are people
okay,
begging.
do you think that people are happier in 2023 than they were 100 years ago?
No.
No.
Okay, they were poorer 100 years ago.
Yeah, but
Facts.
people were just more content with life.
They had
back
better
then.
morals and
Now
principles.
we're not content with life. There is
Right,
pressure.
Because there's no morals and principles.
You're making her
because modern
point.
Women want everything.
You're making her
Yeah.
The
point.
expenses of running a household is different.
It's
let's
not
be
just
honest.
that.
I
Even
mean,
the kids
the
now want
the
more
lifestyle has
things.
gone up. If you look at in the U.S., they measure poverty, right? And they have like a poverty rate, and economists measure it, and they found that people that were living in poverty had TVs.
Facts. Facts. You go to, I'm in Detroit. Go to any hood. Go to east side of Detroit. Go to St. Louis, New Orleans, Baltimore, any of these cities that's quote unquote with the poor and everybody and things like that. We all got Androids. We all got internet connections. smartphones and all that kind of shit, man. They're just making excuses. Shout out to Daniel. And I don't think I hit this once a day. Shout out to the UK.
Top of the morning, governors.
That's right. It's time for biscuits and hot tea.
That should be mandatory off top as soon as the show starts.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, there's people, like, for example, where I'm from in Morocco.
So people prioritise lifestyle over family.
Facts, Bella.
That's the bottom line of it. It's true.
But I feel like
you don't want children.
Facts, SP.
And have no money, so you want to have money with your children, so you're putting the money before that because you're willing to
What do you mean? Sorry.
You don't want children and have no money. Like, that's not an option for you.
No.
Yeah, so that
and I
speaks
can't,
for itself.
because I can't put my kids through that.
What are you putting them through?
I don't want my kids.
So you need money to
suffer.
raise your child, basically.
Because you always want better for your child, don't you?
Absolutely.
But how is money better for your child? I don't get it.
So, like,
Because
so can I ask you a
her point
question?
is that morals, values, and principles are more important than money.
Absolutely.
And no matter what you make,
Absolutely.
no matter what you make in 2023, you are still richer than most. Your kids will be richer than most kids were. Most kids were in all of human history. So in all of human history, the kids didn't turn out horrible. They weren't traumatized. I mean, this trauma shit, this is like the last 10, 15, 20 years. People didn't, like, that was for people that...
there was a lot of
That was for people that came back from war. It wasn't for your ex-boyfriend cheated on you 5 times.
Facts.
That's a trauma.
But also, I feel like going back to that point, I feel like I could be the best mother. I could raise my kids with, you know, the best morals and, you know, all of that, right? And if I do not have money to give my son, he could go out and steal. He could go and
you could give your son all the money in the world and he could still steal.
He can go outside.
Rich kids steal too.
Threaten to stab someone.
Rich kids steal
because
too.
I could not afford to give my son money.
That can work both ways.
But that, you know, you're just proving her point.
I'm being realistic.
Wait. You're just proving her point because she's saying that it's about morals and values.
And if
Bang! It's good!
Bruh. Shout out to SP. He said it in the chat a second ago. I had it up here. She's proven her point the more that she talks, man. But she's too oblivious to even notice it. Dame Dizzle says, do better today and worry about tomorrow. Facts, man. Facts. Like, it doesn't matter, man. And that woman that's talking about her needing money, she doesn't even have children. All this shit is hypothetical because she doesn't even have children. And I think she's some spoiled rich brat because she says she's from Morocco. I think she's some spoiled rich kid who probably never had to work a hard day in her life.
And you're saying, and you're going back to, you're proving her point because you're saying, no, it's about money. She's saying, no, it's about morals and values. Then you say, no, it's about money because if we don't have money, he's going to steal. And she says, no, it's about morals and values.
But she's saying, no.
Yeah, and I'm saying back to that I could bring him up with the best morals ever. I could be like, listen, we are this kind of traditional family.
You can swing that every direction. You can have a rich kid and he could still steal when it happens.
Let me finish. When he is seeing other children with iPhones and nice Nike trainers and all these things, and he comes home and as his mother, I cannot afford to buy him that phone. I can't afford to pay his phone bill. He is going to go down the wrong path.
Hit that like button,
all
man.
These guys who are in gangs and are banged up, they come from broken homes. The majority of them come from broken homes.
And just pause for a second. Make sure you guys, Mona, if you could drop the link to Smoke and Talk channel. Smoke and Talk, when do you go live, bro? I believe it's Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I can't remember if it's 7 or like 7:30. Clarify it in the chat. Make sure you guys check out Smoke and Talk. He's got a real dope podcast out of Baltimore. Him, his brother, and his sister-in-law, Dope show. Let's get back to it.
And your child everything financially.
Yes.
So why are rich children?
I'm not about spoiling them.
I personally believe, a child has his or her own mind by a certain age.
No.
And they're going to be whoever they want to be. Based on what you put into them, that's fine, but they have their own mind at a certain age. So they're going to steal, don't matter what background they come. Criminals are from all walks of life.
But they are more likely to...
And sorry to stop it again, but Bella left a comment right here I wanted to bring up. She works for her family. And this woman all the way to the right, who's actually been kind of quiet, this one on the left, I'm not sure, Bella, I think Bella's talking about the one on the right as well, because she did say that earlier on in the interview, and in the other one as well, that she works for her family. Like, they have like a chain of like daycare places or nurseries, as they call them, over in the UK. And that's what she does for a living. So it's kind of like you're talking as if, you you can run these businesses. You just work for your people. So people have a business established, which is good. I wish my family had a business established so I wouldn't have to be talking on YouTube at 8 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, stop the cap.
Still, when they don't have it at home.
No, it's not about money. It's about single parent homes. It's single mother homes. That's where most criminals come from.
Yes. Single parent homes, and they come from broken homes.
So it's from women's poor decisions.
Good point, Project Leroy.
Poor decisions from
some of them have abusive dads. Some of them have alcoholic dads. I mean, the list goes on.
So it was the choice to have a child with an alcoholic dad.
But you don't sometimes always know that. You can know too.
They could have turned into one.
So then it was your choice not to vet him enough before you had a kid with him.
What do you mean? What if an experience happened and he becomes an alcoholic?
He becomes an alcoholic. Someone dies in his family, or he loses his money.
I think that's an ignorant perspective.
Very ignorant. Someone could die.
You could pick someone that doesn't drink.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to go out and ask for someone who doesn't drink.
You see the Kardashians? Who was the one that went? That was with.
I just think it's about accountability. Everything in life is your own fault.
No,
it's based on your decision.
No. Because if I can prevent something, I will do that.
Whose fault is it?
No one ever wanted to pick shit.
Whose fault is it then? Your outcomes in life, whose fault are they?
It's ours.
They're our fault. Mm-hmm. So if you pick bad men, or you pick a man that doesn't stick around, whose fault is that?
Ours.
But it's not always.
But what if the person changes? No, you can't
say
both. That's just so irresponsible to say both.
If you have a bad judging character, whose fault is that?
My fault.
I don't think you. I don't like we spoke about.
Facts, man. Facts. I wanted to stop that a second ago, but I was gonna let it ride. And we got a super chat here from Derek. But I wanted to bring up a couple points. Wally's John Wayne says, I call bull. We were poor growing up while others had more, and none of us 7 stole anything. The lady has no business being a parent. Facts, man. Facts. It was only 3 of us, man. And I grew up poor as well. But I've never been a thief. Like, that's just something it just always rubbed me the wrong way. But you're absolutely right. And she made and then the other woman made a point as well, is that you can be rich and you can have rich, spoiled, and have everything to you and still be a criminal. I remember I used to watch a show called Locked Up Raw. It was just big in the prison. I used to be big in like the prison shows and all that kind of shit. And they interviewed, and the vast majority of people, like you said, 80% of the inmates were from single parent household. But every now and then there'd be that one. Every now and then you have sprinkled into the mix would be that one rich kid who grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He grew up with a silver spoon and had no reason to have the outcomes he had as an adult, but he chose that lifestyle because he was given anything and then a mixture of all other things. But you're absolutely right. Let's see, what would Derek got here. Derek always supported the show. Derek says, I didn't have much money coming up. I never stole or ran in a gang. I had a traditional grandmother. She kept me on point. Rip grandma. Facts, man. Facts as well. That's no excuse whatsoever. But the other reason why I stopped to thanks Derek for the super chat was Pearlie said something. And I think this is bigger than this. This is more important than this entire conversation. And if I could ever give people a little bit of advice, I'd give them this. It's what she just said. And I learned this from I spoke about him before. There's a motivational speaker named Brian Tracy. And I started watching his content and reading his books about a year or two ago, and it kind of changed my outlook on life. But and I didn't struggle with this, but it's one of the main things, one of the very first things he talked about in the very first book I have was owning up to your mistake and saying the following thing. And Pearlie just said it. Everything that happens to you in life is your fault. Regardless if you don't want to hear that shit or that's something that you're not at a place mentally where you can accept that, that's fine. But if anyone can take anything from my channel, I would say take this. If you understand the fact that everything that happens to you in your life is your fault, it will change your aspect on life. It will change your aspect on life because you put everything in control of yourself and you stop blaming others. You stop blaming others. When something happens to you, I'll give you an example. I'm a courier. I was driving on my car one day and I had a belt loose on my engine. And I knew it. I just hadn't taken it to the shop. And then I'm driving home one day. I'm about 30 minutes away from the crib. The belt snapped. I end up having to get a tow truck, towing myself back home. I got a little bit closer, towing myself back home. But here's the thing. I wasn't mad at nobody about the situation but myself. And I ended up costing myself about $250, $300 for the tow, on top of getting it repaired. My whole point is that when I was younger, I would sit around, I wouldn't really blame other people, but I would say like the universe had something out of me. Like, damn, man, the universe fucking with me. No, that happened because I had maintenance that needed to be done on my car for weeks, and I ignored it. I said, I'll fix it later. And it snapped on me, and it ended up costing me $250, man. You can't walk around life blaming other people. Whatever happens to you is your fucking fault, man. Regardless if you want to accept that or you have a hard time understanding that, my point is that if you just learn to accept it, it will improve your situation because you won't waste energy and time blaming other people or feeling bad about it or feeling sorry for yourself. No, wipe your dirt off, wipe your tears away if you got them, and get the fuck back on the grind, man. Nobody cares about your problems. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out there. Back to it. It's only like a few minutes. It's only like 2-3 minutes left in the clip anyway. So let's get back to it. Let's see here. Where is that? Where did that video go? Hold on one second. Where did maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Okay. Let's give you 1 second here. I'll bring this back up. I don't know why it disappeared on me. Oh, here we go.
Before people change, so
that's irresponsible for them to say. But you're saying, but like you haven't
people change, so you can't say that. Okay, like for example, with the alcoholic,
but
you can meet someone and they're not an alcoholic and they become one.
Still your choice. You've got to take accountability for that.
Who you choose, like one thing I understand.
Okay, well, alcoholism is heritable. So you could look at their family and think,
Michelle, check out Smoking Talk.
His grandpa's
but even if the person changes, even if the person changes, you still have to sit down and take responsibility.
100%. If that person, for example, if that person does change, you can say, okay, I made this choice. That was my choice. I get that. However, people don't, like I said, people change. So if I've chose this person in the beginning and everything
but you still
fine,
got to take
I checked. Yeah, I will take responsibility at that time. Like, I've chosen this person. They've changed. They've now walked out of my child's life. That's my error because I didn't see my fault. I didn't see the signs from the beginning. Maybe they're there, but it's my error. I get that. You can take accountability. However, sometimes you can't see it from the start because it's not there.
But it's still your part.
I'm just being me right now. Let me go back for a second.
Them to say, but you're saying, but like you haven't even from all walks of.
Yeah,
that was
Rob. Yes, your choices are your fault. Your outcomes are your fault.
Yes. It depends on the circumstances.
If you pick a guy that can't get through the mother of his mother dying, that's
but how
your
are you
fault.
meant to know that though? How
he
are
will
you
show
meant to know that?
symptoms
Oh my
before.
gosh, 90%.
He will show symptoms before.
90% of single mothers, like there are warning signs. There are warning signs. You know it. They know it. There are warning signs.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, you can dress like a man, but you're still a woman with no accountability. SP says I was locked up with this white kid, and he got 7 years because his goofy ass couldn't stop stealing shit. This motherfucker parents showed this motherfucker the world. He's seen 15 countries. Like, what the fuck?
It's good.
Facts, SP. And there's a content creator, man, I can't think of his name. I don't know if you guys are into like finances. Like I'm into like financing, investing, learning the stock market and things like that. YouTube has taught me so much stuff, including investing in the stock market. But the whole point, there's a cat. Let me know in the chat if you guys know his name. It's a brother. He probably like in his 30s down from Louisiana. I can't, for the life of me, I'm subscribed to his channel, but can't think of his name. He was a dude from New Orleans. He went to jail at like 16 for like murder or some shit. Ended up doing like 10 years. And while in jail, he a broke kid from New Orleans. He he bumps into this white dude, same thing in prison. The white dude was doing time for like investment fraud and shit, like white collar crime. And the white dude kind of told him the same thing, like, man, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all black folk, y'all just being here going to jail on dumb shit, basically. And he was like, once he got over my man Tone, because he was a teenager himself once he went to jail, he got to learn it. And you guys might know the guy's channel. He has a big channel now with a couple 100,000 subscribers. But he tells people, he teaches people how to invest in the stock market, but he teaches it from a black perspective, or not necessarily a black perspective, from like a broke D-boy perspective. You might not know anything about the stock market, but these same D-boys know how to break down a brick, bag it up, sell an ounce, how much money I should get back. They can turn into mathematicians then, and that's kind of the point. But yeah, SP is absolutely right. There's men in prison, men and women in prison right now who come from legitimately good stock, who come from good families, but they don't have that guidance. They don't have that guidance, or maybe they do have that guidance. Some people are just going to be bad apples because they have the opportunity to do so.
A That's a bit biased.
Corey Joe, I see you.
Because you might
I
have
don't think it's biased. I just think it's being honest with yourself. Just be honest.
Wall Street Trapper. Facts. Good looking, Corey Joe. And check out his channel as well. I think I saw him on a Breakfast Club, or before the Breakfast Club, he was on, or maybe it was Breakfast Club. I know he was on Boyce Watkins' show. And I know a lot of people don't watch Boyce because he be on some sim shit, which is accurate. But he also be dropping jewels. Wall Street Trapper. If you guys are into it, man, check out his story. His story is so dope, man.
This predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
Yeah. That's how our brain works. Like, it's how it's literally all of work for all of human time. Like, your brain goes off of what
I think
you
women
already
live in
know.
a
That's
state
why
of
we
denial,
learn.
and like that's where there's a problem.
You can look at his parents. Like, did he have a stable family to look up to?
Shout out
Like,
to all
there are
my
warning
truck drivers,
signs.
man. Hot
I
shot
agree with that
over the
point.
road.
But
Shout out
even
to
if
all
there's
y'all,
warning
man.
signs, or if there isn't, like whatever happens. It's still your choice, regardless of what the past is. You can judge the past and still get it wrong. It's still your fault. It's your life.
Sometimes in life you take L's, and it's still your fault. You took the L.
Yeah, and I think when you're in denial, you create a bigger mess by being in denial of your.
I mean, it's
choice.
easier to take accountability, say that was my fault, and think, what can I learn from this? But you're
Yeah,
never gonna
keep
learn.
moving.
You're never going to learn if it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then that would make that person like pick a better partner, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, if you take accountability, but if you say, "Oh, people changed, there was no warning signs," then
you're going to make the same mistake again and again. And then you're going to keep blaming everybody else. And that's where women get bitter and say men are trash. But it's not. That's why I said in the beginning of the podcast, maybe sometimes you need to look in yourself, like to see what you can fix within yourself by being more accountable.
But that takes accountability.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's still.
And this is why I say red flags are very important. Take it and leave it, literally.
But maybe sometimes you're the red flag.
Fact. Maybe sometimes you're the red flag.
Good job. Red flag advocate.
So that's it, man. That we had to end the video, and then that's all I had, man. That's all I had. Appreciate you guys coming in, kicking with me. Yeah, Wall Street Trapper is his name. I really like his content, and you just like to hear a good story. Someone who's going down the wrong path, and then turned his life around significantly, and also teaching people game, man. I remember I was watching him one morning. He was talking about financial moats, like an actual moat around like buying a company and stock. I'm not trying to get too deep into it. I ain't no expert, but I just kind of had to figure it out. And let's see. I'm a mechanic. Facts out to you, SP. Even if you have trauma, it's still up to you to get the help you need and walk through your issues. Facts, man. And that's one of the things they say, Serrated Grin, with a lot of these women who say, like, I'm hurt or I need to be healed. It's like, it's not up to men to heal your ass. You need to figure that shit out before you even enter a relationship or out here dating, man. Absolutely. Let's see what PA got right here. So I learned my business acumen and some of my weights and measurements being a D-boy back in the day. Facts, man. Facts, bro. That's why it amazes me when you see these D-boys out here, they become mathematicians when it comes to the dope game. But if you ask them anything else, they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, no, bro, you know it. You just got to apply that same talent that you have for doing A to B. You have the potential. You have it in you. You're smart enough. You're just focusing it on the wrong thing. What PA says, I learned my business acumen and some of my weights and measurements from being a D-boy back in the day. 28 grams equals an ounce. Yep. Facts, bro. 16 ounces equal a pound. There you go, man. That's the street, and the streets will teach you that shit. All those guys have to do is apply that same logic, and that's why I thought the Wall Street Trapper was so dope, because one of the first few videos I've seen of his, that's when he was breaking down the exact same thing that PA said. Like, dude, you guys already know this information. You just have to apply it in a different fashion. Off subject, Theo, I told a young woman the other day she needed an investment account because the bank isn't for making money. Facts, man. I think everyone should be investing financially into the stock market, man. Everyone. I teach everyone in my family to do so, but not like I'm some expert. I just always say it. But one thing I noticed about my family is that when I try to talk about money, they hear me, but then it just gets kind of like ignored. And that's fine. Because, yeah, that's just what it is, man. I'm not really trip on that. Men are not your therapist. Facts, man. Pete, facts. I knew all that shit. I started fucking around with the block because I refused to get beat. Yeah, man. Absolutely. D-boy should have been chemist. Facts, Project Leroy. Facts, man. That's the thing right there. That's the thing. Why does it stop? That's the thing right there, man. Absolutely. They have the potential for that, but just lay it down the wrong path. But appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. And I think It just amazes me because I'm thinking about Boosie Badass. I think about the woman there because you can dress like a woman, you can dress like a man, I suppose, but you won't never truly be one because even her still standing there looking like corrupt. Like somebody else said, she's still in there with excuses, no accountability whatsoever. Blame whoever you want, but at the end of the day, it's your life. Facts, man. Facts. And that's one of the things that I wanted to stress on, I talked about earlier, man, is that taking that, what Pearlie said, everything is your fault. I didn't hear that from Pearlie. I never really had an accountability problem, be honest with y'all. Like I said, when I always used to think like that, I would think like the world was picking on me, not like it wasn't my fault. I was just thinking like the universe had it in me. The universe don't give a shit about you, Theo. You a peon, bro. And even if I was Jeff Bezos, the world in large don't really give a fuck about you. I mean, the universe rather. That's kind of the best way I can put it. Good to see you, Dale. Appreciate all you guys. Rocking with your boy, and leave a like on the way out, man. Appreciate it. We be back tomorrow, man. Getting it early. Do Better Squad. We out.